Hi, this is Jake for BandLab. Did you know that you can make 808 beats and bass lines in BandLab? In this video, we'll show you how to pick the right kicks, compose a beat, add a bass line, and mix it all down. You can open this project yourself with the link in the video description. And if you find this guide useful, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be the first to know when new videos drop. 808 beats are popular in trap, hip-hop, and R&B music, and BandLab features a variety of kits that you can use to make your own 808 beat in minutes. Let's make an 808 beat now. I start by setting the project tempo to 160 BPM. Then I click the Add Track button and select Virtual Instruments. In the drum pads category, there are several 808 bass kits that we can pick from, but I want just a basic sound to begin with, so I'm going to select 808. I right-click on the virtual instrument track and select Create Region to make a MIDI clip. I double-click the clip, and this presents me with the MIDI editor where I can enter notes. I start by putting closed hats on eighth notes. With claps on the third beat of each bar. I then put the kicks on the 1st, 7th, and 11th eighth notes. I'd like to add some hi-hat rolls at the end of the second bar, so I set View, Grid Size to 1/32. I add two 3-note 32nd note rolls at the end of the second bar. When I'm done, I return View, Grid Size to Smart. This is sounding alright, so I duplicate out this 2-bar sequence to fill the 4-bar clip. To duplicate MIDI notes and clips in BandLab, hold Option on Mac or Alt on Windows and drag them over. At the end of the 4th bar, I remove the hat rolls and replace them with 8th-note hats. I duplicate out the 4-bar clip, and at the end of the new version, I add snares on the final 2 8th notes. To listen to the whole 8-bar sequence loop, I drag the cycle area out to the end of bar 8, and this automatically activates cycle mode. Now that I've composed a beat, I'd like to try out some of the alternative 808 kits and see which one I'd like to continue working with. I can do this in real time by setting the track's instrument to a different kit as I play the project back. I really like the original 808 kit, but it has a big booming 808 kick drum sound, and I want to add my own 808 bass line too. I feel the shorter kick from the future trap kit would work better with a big 808 bass line. Luckily with BandLab, I don't have to choose one kit or the other. I can use both. I set the instrument back to 808 kit. Then I right-click on the track and select Duplicate Track. I set the new track to Future Trap Kit. To keep things organized, I name the tracks 808 and Future Trap. On the 808 track, I delete the kick drums. On the Future Trap track, I delete everything apart from the kick drums. Now we have an 808 beat with more room in the low end to add an 808 bass. Like drum kits, BandLab has a variety of 808 bass instruments to choose from. Let's add one now. I add another virtual instrument track, and this time select 808s 808 bass. Then I create a region. I sequence a bass line that plays G and B flat. I duplicate the clip out so that it plays for the whole 8 bars. I feel like even though we're using the shorter kick from the Future Trap kit, it's still getting muddied then when we add the 808 bass line. We can remedy this with some processing. On the Future Trap track, I bring up the effects panel and add a tone, EQ3M effect. I set the low to minus 13 dB, which takes out a lot of the kick's low end. Now the 808 bass line sounds much cleaner in the mix without a loss of punch. Let's try some of the other 808 bass sounds. I like 808 kick, but with this instrument selected, I can see the master's clipping. To prevent this, I need to turn the tracks down. I set all the tracks to minus 3 dB. I feel like the highs are a bit too loud relative to the other elements, so I take the 808 track down to minus 6 dB. Let's add one more element to help drive the track. I add another virtual instrument track and stick with the default grand piano instrument. I set this track to minus 10.5 dB. I compose a melody that plays G, B flat, C, then switches up to F, B flat, C at the end of the 4 bars. I duplicate this 4-bar clip out. I'd like to give this sound a touch more organic feel and rhythmic interest. So in the effects panel, I add a delay, filter echo plus, and set the mix to 8%. Remember, you can fork this project and make your own version of it using the link in the video description. Have fun!